And there you have it, Beyond the Billion. Today, we are a global consortium of close to 90 venture funds that have pledged beyond $1 billion to be invested into women-founded companies, because we know that when you invest in women, you're in good company, and we are truly driving returns through diversity. Now, in Beyond the Billion, we are a platform that will be continuing to catalyze capital by engaging and deepening relationships with limited partner investors, and of course, highlighting important topics such as this today. And with that, to introduce the panel and to carry this important topic, I'm so honored to pass the mic over to Shelley Porges. Shelley, take it away.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks so much. Well, welcome everybody, and we're excited to have you with us this morning and afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. We know you're from across the globe. First, let me start by asking you this. Imagine if Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, or Steve Jobs had been born in Africa or Asia or Latin America. Do you think they would have had the opportunity to fulfill their potential? Now imagine if each of these great innovators had a sister who's equally innovative, equally determined, equally visionary. Do you think she would have the opportunity to fulfill her potential? I think we know the answer. Today's global economies are driven as much by their ability to innovate and adapt as they are by their ability to produce and consume, as we've always thought of in the past. And yet so many in both developed and developing nations are left out of the innovation mainstream and the benefits of this evolution, most notably women and other underserved founders. How can we build a system of inclusive innovation for those who have been excluded before? And what role does venture capital play? Today, we have a group of leaders, each of whom has played a role in advancing a more inclusive innovation economy in their own way. Each has also played a role in ensuring that women and other diverse founders can scale their innovations. How these leaders and others like them, including our 90 partner venture funds, invest will play a major role in ensuring we build a more inclusive economy. So, without further ado, let me introduce our distinguished panel who will share their insights with us this morning. First, let me introduce Marla Blow. Marla is the North American lead at the Mastercard Center for Inclusive Growth. It's a really phenomenal initiative and organization within Mastercard. Previously, she was founder and CEO of FS Card Inc., which was sold to a strategic acquirer. Marla has a long tenure in consumer finance with experience as an executive, a federal regulator, an entrepreneur, an angel investor, and serving on both public and private boards. There's almost nothing she hasn't done, let's face it. Next, I'm very excited to be introducing my friend, Dr. Judith Rhoden. Judith is a pioneer, innovator, change maker, and global thought leader, having led and transformed two global institutions over which she presided. The Rockefeller Foundation most recently, and before that, the University of Pennsylvania, where she was the first woman to lead and preside over an Ivy League university. In addition, she serves as the chair of the board of our wonderful partner fund portfolio, as well as Prodigy Finance, and is a member of the board for a number of leading corporations and nonprofits. She has authored more than 200 academic articles and chapters and has written or co-written over 15 books. Don't have time to even talk about her whole record. Most notably, her next book, so watch out for this, soon to be released by Wharton School Press, is entitled Just Money. And you can be sure that Judith will bring insights that are not just about money. Eula Brophy, our next speaker, is the founder and managing director of Vested World, a venture capital fund focused on investing in underserved markets around the world, including several markets in sub-Saharan Africa. Prior to Vested World, he was an attorney with Latham Watkins and Vedder Price, where his practice focused on mergers and acquisitions, private equity, and venture capital transactions. And last, but certainly not least, our friend Dalenirvani Pfeiffer. Dale is the CEO and founder of Good World. She is on a mission to make payments a global force for good. Her company, Good World, makes charitable giving on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram frictionless, viral, and secure, and is used by over 3,000 of the world's top charities. Good World was recently named one of the world's most innovative companies by Fast Company magazine, among the many awards and honors it's received and Dale has personally received. So with that, let me transition to Dr. Rhoden. So speaking of funds that are doing very innovative things to draw in investors, you are the board chair for our partner fund portfolio, led by Trish Costello, the amazing Trish Costello, who's had a storied career herself in bringing inclusive investors, not only to speak of founders, but a whole array of diverse investors into the ecosystem through her work at prior Kaufman Fellows. But one of with that innovation, recently the firm launched the Rising America Fund, which was so exciting. I was there at your DC launch with 7 GPs who are women of color investing in female and other diverse founders. What led Portfolio to do this, Judith? And beyond this fund, let's talk about LPs who have invested in your funds. How are they the same and how are they different from the LPs out there overall?
Well, thanks, Shelley. Your comments just now and Marla's are a perfect segue because Portfolio is a different kind of venture fund. Trish founded it in response to the astounding data that everybody is citing, that women haven't had sufficient access to VC deals, not in any way, not as investors, not as deal makers, and not as the entrepreneurs who benefit from VC investing. So Portfolio was really launched, I think, to solve that problem. It launches funds for qualified women. They can invest as little as $10,000 in each fund to become an LP, and they can invest in multiple funds. All of the funds have been created in areas that matter to women so that their investing can produce positive, more inclusive outcomes.
So let me just wind everything down here and ask our panelists, if you had one request or one takeaway for this esteemed audience of investors and ecosystem leaders to ensure a more inclusive, innovative future, what would it be? Marla, let me start with you.
Sure. Yeah. So I think the number one request from me is to get involved. And everyone in this audience, everyone that's watching this has the opportunity to be an investor. That can be on a large scale, on a small scale, in the public markets, in the private markets. But taking that first step of getting some money into an investment and then thinking about how the investment is going and talking about that investment. So one of the things I do is on the sidelines of my soccer games, when he used to have soccer games, which he doesn't have them right now. I talk to the other women on the sidelines about finance and about investing and about what they do with their money. And they're constantly surprised, right? Because it's not something that we talk about. We must start talking about it. We must start doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. Indeed. Dale, how about you?
So I would say look for investments in a wider range of company in terms of the maturity of the companies. The gross majority of investment in female founder companies is at the seed stage. It is incredibly difficult as you go up and increase in the rounds, but the most difficult place, and this is where most female companies die, is at the bridge. So, often investors will be much more likely to come in and double down on a male investor and give them the benefit of the doubt and the shot. But really, very few will invest in female founders at the bridge. So I would say invest in female founders at the bridge and in subsequent rounds, not just at the seed stage.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Thank you. And Euler, how about you?
I would say it's access, both to the people that you are investing in, to opportunities you're seeing, women and diverse founders, both of funds and companies, don't have the same level of access as others do.
Thank you, everyone, and really appreciate all the comments from the top panelists here. Truly an all-star panel, and I did want to leave you all with this thought that I think I picked up from Marla. Interrupt this pattern. As women, we are often saying, oh, sorry to interrupt, but let's be bold in interrupting the patterns we see and doing so meaningfully and as often as we can. And with that,